Okay, so everybody keeps asking me to do a jig with rubber legs. That is what we're gonna do. And what I've done to help y'all figure out where to get material at, I've gone to Bass Pro and I just bought skirts. That's all I bought. You can get some off Amazon that are like solid pieces you stretch and pick like that. The ones I got from Amazon did not work. They didn't stretch right. They didn't come apart right. You try to separate them, you would rip them. Had some, you pull ends off of them, snip them, they wouldn't separate. So this is probably a little more expensive going to Bass Pro and getting these versus those long strips, and I think they're called silly legs or something like that. This is a skirt that you would put back on a spinnerbait or a bass jig or something like that. You can find these at Bass Pro in quite a few different colors. I was actually kind of impressed. It was a very good selection of stuff. So we are going to start in this vise, in the Peak rotary vise, Danville 210 denier, waxed. It does say waxed. We're going to take our Sally Hansen's and we're going to coat that shank of that hook. Just dab a little bit on there. We don't need a whole lot. Just something to give our thread something to bite onto to keep everything from spinning, turning, rotating, and all that. We're going to start right there behind the head. We're going to start working our way down the shank of the hook. See that little drop of Sally Hansen's moving along with that thread. So that one little drop all the way up here in the middle spread all the way down the shank of that hook. It's also going to give us a little bit of glue. I call it glue. It's nail hardener. It's going to let a little bit of that push down through to help hold these. And we're going to pull off. I got like 12 strands there, which is going to be fine because the chenille we're going to use is going to be a light chenille. It's not very heavy, not very thick. All right, here's my first tip when you do this. Try to get as much push down around the shank of that hook with your fingers. Now what you're going to do is you're going to take that thread and you're going to kind of lasso it, knowing you got it in there getting tight. That's going to keep all that material at the head tied down. I'm going to keep the rubber leg stretched just a little bit. I'm doing light wraps up until I get to the point of the hook. Now when I get here to the end, I don't get it super tight. That's still a loose wrap right there at the end. If you pull it too tight, what it'll tend to do is make that rubber start to stand straight up. So it's going to be loose right there. Then I'm going to get about 2 wraps up from the point of the hook. Now I'm going to start pulling it down tight. And that come out really nice and even. There's a little bit of stuff sticking up right there, but we're going to be using this really super small micro chenille. And it's chartreuse anyway, so the colors are going to kind of work together. Tied into right to the point. I'm not going to add any flash to this because I think it's already kind of flashy enough with this chenille. Yeah, it's going to be flashy enough. So we're going to kind of overlap on this some. We're going to let this stuff build up. It's thin, it's not thick. This is going to be a good bluegill jig, crappie jig, white bass jig. We're going to let it just sit there and build up in the middle. That micro chenille is a lot better for 64ths, 30 seconds, more so than a 16th. You're probably going to use a little too much. It'd been better off if I would have bought this in medium for 16th ounce size jig heads, but we're going to make it work. Then we're going to get our chenille over on the other side of our thread. Going to wrap it a couple times right there, pull it back around the head, go back over, back around one more time just for safe measure. Pull it back over here, one more good wrap, and snip that off. Now, we're going to take our whip finish tool, loop it, pull it, get your triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop it out, pull it tight, hook it, loop it, get your triangle, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then for safe measure, I put my fingers right there on the jig head and I pull that bobbin kind of snug. I am using the loon bobbin today. I'll get questions on that. This is absolutely one of my most favorite bobbins because of that. I like the way it fits my hand. It fits good. It's comfortable. Works good. All right, so we got our tail just a little bit longer than what I really want it. So we're going to reach right there and we're going to cut it. Boom. That's what I wanted right there. Might have cut it just a little bit too short, but I like it. We're going to take our UV resin. We'll put it drop right there on the back side of the neck. We're going to come up here. We're going to coat that back side of the neck. Gonna hit it with our light for a second. Ain't gonna take very long because I ain't got much on that one. It's gonna be a pretty good looking little jig right there. Boom, boom, there it is. With rubber legs. Give it a try. Let me know what you think about it. Don't mind, like, share, subscribe. We are at 9,996, I think, 95 maybe. Almost there, that 10,000 subscriber mark. Like I said, like, share, subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Try a jig with rubber legs. Let me know what you think about it. How it tied.